Night falls fast. You're cold, wet, and your tent is torn. You need shelter, and you need it now. A tarp is one of the most versatile tools you can carry. It's light, it's cheap, and it can be crucial in saving your life in 6 different ways. You need a tarp, some rope or paracord, and a few basic knots. That's it. No special gear, no expensive kit, just a simple, durable cover. When foraging for materials or setting up camp, always ensure you're not violating any local guidelines. Step 1. Shelter from the rain. Find a flat spot. Lay your tarp out with the wind blowing across it, not into it, to prevent water from pooling. Angle the tarp just enough for water to run off, but not so steep that you're exposed to strong winds. Avoid making it too flat, as that can lead to water accumulation. Always remember to check local regulations and weather conditions before setting up camp. Most people make the mistake of setting up a tarp with the wind coming straight at them, which can lead to puddles forming. Instead, position the tarp at an angle of about 20 to 30 degrees relative to the wind direction. This angle helps to shed water effectively without making you feel like you're in a wind tunnel. Remember, proper shelter is crucial for staying dry and warm in bad weather. Step 2. Ground cover. Spread your tarp flat on the ground to keep you off wet, cold earth, but don't just lay directly on it. Add a layer of leaves or pine needles for insulation. The ground absorbs heat, so a barrier is crucial. Step 3. Lean to shelter. Anchor one corner of your tarp to a tree or rock securely, using a reliable knot like the figure 8. Run the tarp out and anchor the opposite corner. This creates a lean-to, a simple but effective shelter. Remember, securing your shelter properly is crucial for safety. Always check local regulations and seasons for any specific requirements or restrictions. Step 4. Hammock. Tie the tarp between 2 trees, high off the ground, but ensure it's loose enough to sag in the middle. This setup keeps you off the wet or cold ground and helps with insulation. A common mistake is tying it too tight, which can make sleeping uncomfortable and restrict air circulation beneath the tarp. Always prioritize comfort and safety when setting up your shelter. Step 5. A-frame shelter. Lay 2 sticks on the ground to form an A-frame. Tie your tarp across the top to create a roof, then add 2 more sticks for sides to form a shelter. Ensure the sides are properly secured to keep the wind out and provide space to move around. Remember, it's crucial to use a taut line hitch or similar secure knots to keep everything tight and stable. Always check local regulations regarding the setup and use of shelters on public lands. Step 6. Wind screen. If you're in a tent, use the tarp as a windscreen. Tie it to the outside of your tent, angled to block the wind. This keeps you warmer inside. Before setting it up, make sure to shake the tarp and test its stability to ensure it's secure and can withstand the wind. Always remember to check local regulations and season dates for camping if you're in an area where these apply. How to tell it worked. Your shelter is dry inside. No leaks, no cold spots. The tarp is doing its job. Mistakes are easily noticeable. Water pooling, wind blowing in, or cold seeping through. Address these issues immediately to prevent hypothermia or other health risks. What to do if it didn't work. Reassess your setup. Check your knots. Look for loose spots. Often, a simple adjustment is all it takes. If you're still cold, add more insulation. Use leaves, branches, or any available materials to create a barrier between you and the ground. Remember, hypothermia is a real danger in cold weather, so staying warm and dry is crucial. Always ensure you have the proper permits and follow local regulations when setting up camp in wilderness areas. A tarp is a simple tool, but mastering its use can be a game changer. Whether you're facing unexpected bad weather, you need to be prepared. A tarp can mean the difference between a cold, miserable night and a warm, dry one. Stay safe and knowledgeable. Always verify plant and animal IDs with an expert, follow your local regulations, and never eat anything you can't 100% identify. Alright, let's dive in. The tarp is your best friend when the weather turns nasty, but to make it work effectively, you need to know the tricks. Tarp as a wind break. First up, the wind break. If you're facing a strong wind, you need to block it. Find a spot with a natural windbreak like a ridge or a stand of trees. Position your tarp to catch the wind and deflect it away from you. If you can find sturdy branches, tie the tarp securely to them. Make sure everything is tightly fastened. A loose tarp can turn into a dangerous situation in high winds. Always check local regulations and seasons for any restrictions on using natural materials or setting up structures in certain areas. Tarp as a rain shelter. Next, the rain shelter. A tarp can keep you dry even if it's pouring. Lay the tarp flat, then anchor all four corners with stakes or rocks. Tie off the edges tightly to prevent water seepage. Use your body weight to create a seal at the corners. If you have extra rope, tie loops around the edges to keep the tarp taut. A saggy tarp lets in water, which can lead to hypothermia, so ensure it's well stretched and securely anchored. Always remember to check local regulations for any restrictions on using or leaving behind camping gear in the wilderness. Tarp as a ground cover. Now, the ground cover. This is crucial. Lay the tarp down to protect you from the cold ground. Use natural materials like leaves, branches, and pine needles as insulation between the tarp and the ground. If you have a second tarp, place it over the first one and secure the edges with rocks or gear to create a double layer and keep your gear dry. Remember, the goal is to insulate against the cold and keep your gear dry and safe. Tarp as a lean-to shelter. A lean-to is a classic survival shelter. Find a strong, sturdy branch at least 10 feet long. Secure it horizontally between 2 points, like trees or rocks. Drape your tarp over the branch and anchor the edges to the ground with rocks or stakes. Consider using a ridge pole to create an A-frame shape, which channels rainwater off the tarp. However, ensure the ridge pole is securely fastened to prevent collapse under the weight of rain or snow. Tarp as a hammock shelter. If you're in a wooded area, a tarp can be a game changer. Find 2 sturdy trees about 10 feet apart. Tie your tarp between them, creating a flat surface. Use extra rope to secure it. This setup keeps you off the ground and out of the damp. But remember, setting up a hammock can be challenging, and it's not ideal for heavy individuals. Always check local regulations if you're planning to set up camp long-term. Tarp as a privacy screen. Lastly, the privacy screen. If you're in a group or even alone, a tarp can provide some privacy. Set up your tarp like a wall by securing it to the ground with stakes, creating a barrier. This is useful for bathroom breaks or to keep your space private. However, be mindful of your surroundings and ensure you're not infringing on others' space or privacy. Additionally, check local regulations about setup areas in campsites or public lands. Common mistakes and fixes. Now, let's talk about what can go wrong. First, knots that aren't tight. Loose knots let wind and rain through, so double-check them. Second, not using enough insulation. The ground is cold and you need to keep it out. Use branches, leaves, and anything else you can find to create a barrier between you and the ground. Third, not testing your setup. Before you settle in, give it a shake to make sure everything is secure and tight. A tarp is simple, but mastering its use means the difference between a good night and a bad one. Misusing it can leave you in trouble, but using it correctly keeps you safe and dry. The key is to stay calm, stay focused, and always be prepared. This is educational only. Foraging, hunting, and fishing carry real risks and are governed by local laws and seasons. Always verify plant and animal IDs with an expert. Follow your local regulations, and never eat anything you can't 100% identify. Fourth, not securing the edges properly. Wind can tear a tarp loose, so tie it down with rocks or stakes. If you're short on materials, use your pack or extra gear to weigh it down. Fifth, not considering the wind direction. Set up your shelter with the wind blowing away from you, not at you. This keeps the rain and snow off your back and prevents water and debris from accumulating inside your shelter. Sixth, not having a backup plan. Always have extra cordage or stakes on hand. If one part fails, you need to be prepared to improvise. For example, if your stakes break, use sticks, branches, or even strips of your clothing to secure the tarp. Remember, in the event of severe weather, it's crucial to stay informed about local regulations and seasonal conditions to ensure you have the necessary permits and gear. Now, let's look at 6 ways to use a tarp in bad weather. First, the lean-to. This is the simplest setup. Tomorrow on the Survival Files, keep your feet dry and functional for days.